Hi folks, welcome to today's video. Right, so with this comic, I'm obviously returning to a character who I had basically turned into a series without intending on doing so. Like this was just going to be a one-off character, and then it just turned into a weekly thing for a while. When I think about it, it's kind of like what happened with my Gramfell comics. In fact, however, this one didn't last near as long as Gramfell did. I mean, Gramfell got up to, I think Gramfell I got up to like 50 or maybe even more comics in that series, whereas this I got up to 6 pages, and then I just suddenly stopped. And I was actually surprised with how much people enjoyed these comics. Especially for something that was just going to be a silly one-off gag about me not being able to draw, really. Um, but yeah, as I mentioned in the typed up process post, the reason I returned to the character was I have been going through gradually a bit of a slump with my art process, and I've been having more and more difficulty drawing as a result. So due to not really being able to come up with anything, I thought the best thing to do would be to return to this character who like the original reason for this character being made was again at a time when I was going through trouble with my drawing. I drew this character as a result, and yeah, when it comes to the colors, I originally wanted to do something that was very different to the others, because if you look back at the other comics in this series, there's a lot of blue going on. There's the blue of the dolphin, the blue of the shading, and the blue of the water, of course. And originally with this comic, I don't know at what point you're at in the video now, but you've either seen it or you will see it. You'll see that I was going to have the sea be kind of an orange color to give the impression of it taking place during a sunset. And at first, I thought it worked because it obviously contrasted nicely with the dolphin. Blue and orange. There's a reason why you see that those colors being used so much in movie posters and whatnot. However, the more I got into coloring the comic, the more I kept going back to the blue of the sea. Like I wanted to do something different, but the more I looked at it, the more I thought, do you know what? The blue of the sea, it works. It actually looks better. Um, that said, the clouds in the background in the final panel, I did decide to keep them a nice kind of orange color to maybe give the impression that the sun is shining just off of panel. And you do notice that sometimes when you observe clouds in the sky, that often they'll have kind of a like the shadows on the clouds will have kind of a bluish kind of color to them, but every now and then you'll see differing colors like pinks and oranges and that type of thing. So that was the one concession I made with regards to me wanting to change things up. I kept the clouds orange, and yeah, now I'm looking at it with hindsight. I don't know if they quite work, but I kind of like them. But at the same time, I'm worried when I look at the final panel that our focus should be on the dolphin looking at their reflection in the mirror. But I think that the eye may be drawn a little too much to the clouds in the background. Yeah, look, that's just one of those things. When you draw something, when you color something, there'll always be that little something that you'll have doubts about. But look, that's just a natural part of being an artist. Um, with the reflection of the dolphin in the final panel, that was really just a simple matter of I put the mirror elements on a separate layer, the water in the background, the colors of the dolphin. All I did then was I took that layer and I simply pressed Command U, Control U if you're on Windows, and I lightened the colors. And it's an interesting thing I notice in lots of comics and things like that, where when reflections are depicted, they tend to be lightened in color. Whereas when you think about it, when you look in a mirror, things don't really get any lighter. Maybe a tad. Like I'm actually looking at a mirror right now in my room, and there is perhaps a slight change in color, but I wouldn't describe it as being lighter. However, it's just one of those things that visually it works, I find. And if I had have left the colors as they were, for some reason it doesn't work visually, at least when you're working in kind of a cartoony style. And it's one of those things where you almost don't question why it's done. You just do it because other people have done it. And that's perhaps not exactly a good attitude to have, just doing things because other people have done them. But there are some things that work because they work, so you just do them as a result. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. So I will leave it at that, and I will talk to you at the next video. Take care.